What's up, guys? M.V.K here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? Hope you guys are well, as always. So I promised you guys this. I said if I was never able to get a reaction to something you guys would expect me to react to, I would always give a thought video on it as something of equivalent exchange. Like, okay, this is for the pack. So I told you guys I would do a thought video on Transformers Rise of the Beast, the second trailer. And I am looking forward to seeing this movie. The trailer gave us a little bit more intact indication of what's going on, especially finding out who's the real big bad, which that made me happy. I wish they would have saved that, but I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, so as always, once again, the movie takes place. It's a sequel to Bumblebee, which was good, and a prequel to Bay's Formers. I don't get it. It should be its just own separate movie. But anyway, the point is that this one takes place in 1994. We see New York City in the 90s, which, as a New Yorker, that really hits hard. Seeing the World Trade Centers, it's just like, oh, you know, that's always gonna get me. It's always gonna get me. But we see that Optimus Primal is talking to Optimus Prime, and he's basically saying that the Maximals have been on Earth for a long time, but they've been in hiding. I like that approach. I do like that approach. It makes sense for them to be on Earth longer than maybe the Autobots, even though they're supposed to be the descendants of the Autobots. Okay, and he talks about that something is coming, something has followed us, and of course they show Unicron. Unicron's coming. That just, my jaw dropped when I saw that. I was like, and when I thought about it, I'm like, you know, Unicron is probably the only big bad they can go with, so it makes sense. But he's talking to Optimus and he's telling him all these things, and you got Optimus saying almost like, this is not my war. I don't know, maybe that was edited to make it seem like that, but it just makes no sense. And then we hear Airazor, who's voiced by Michelle Yeoh, saying that we must work together to protect all. And I like that approach. It's really cool to see the Autobots that we haven't seen. I mean, I don't think we ever had Mirage in it. I'm not that fond of Pete Davidson voicing Mirage. I'm like, I just don't think he's funny. I'm like, oh, really? Like, but I love the design for a lot of them. Everybody looks almost like they're G1, except for Wheeljack, which I don't like. I don't like that Wheeljack looks stereotyped like, because he's the brains of the Autobot. Why does he look like a stereotyped nerd? He's got big bifocal glasses. I've seen the design. I'm like, I don't like that. Like, why don't you make him like his G1 look? You look badass without it. You don't have to always go with the stereotype. But I love that Lisa Koshy is playing RC, and she looks just like herself. Peter Dinklage is playing Scourge, the leader of the Terracons. I think that's who is in this. We still got Bumblebee. We got Peter Cullen coming back as Optimus, and he looks great. From what I read is that the unmasking Optimus without his mask was designed by Peter Cullen himself. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. But I like what I saw, and in there we got the actor who plays Noah. I want to make sure I get his name, because he's one of the human allies, Anthony Ramos. It's funny that he's in this, because next time we'll see him, he's also going to play the Hood in Ironheart. So he's going to be the Hood in Ironheart, but he's a former soldier that now is trying to just make ends meet and help his family. I watched the behind the scenes stuff, and it's really good. It's really fun. It's really cool. but at the same time, there are some things that, like I said, I talked that I just said. I don't like some of the designs, especially for Wheeljack. I was really disappointed with that, and I don't think I got to say that to you guys before. I was just like, why does he look like that? Like, that's a that's a stereotype. But for the Autobots, there are a few Autobots. There's a few. You got Optimus Prime. You have Bumblebee. You got Mirage. You have RC, Wheeljack, and Stratosphere is in this. Stratosphere is in this. So, and it says John DiMaggio is voicing him, and Elisa Kashi is voicing RC. And I read that she worked out just to help find her voice as the character. I like that. That's dedication. I like that. As for the Maximals, I'm shocked, a little shocked, because you have Ron Perlman playing Optimus Primal, you have Michelle Yeoh playing Air Razor, you have David Sobovic playing Rhinox. David Sobovic, I believe he's voiced characters in the original series. I think he was, who was he? I can't remember. Was he Rampage? I can't remember. But he's voiced character. He's a veteran. And we got Cheetor voiced by Toji Shalasa. I hope I'm saying the name right. So, however, no Rat Trap. I was shocked at that. Now, if they had Rat Trap in it, that's who I would have had Pete Davidson voice. I was like, yeah, there you go. That's who you should. I was shocked there's no Rat Trap. And they went with Air Razor. But I'm cool with it. Once I heard that, Michelle Yeoh was gonna be voicing it, and I finally heard her, I was like, yeah, that's cool. As for the Terracons, you got Scourge, voiced by Peter Dinklage. David Sobovic is voicing double duties. He's got Battle Trap. We got Michelle Jai Rodriguez versus Nightbird, who's kind of like this ninja. Interesting. John DiMaggio is voicing Transit, and we have an Autobot Terracon called Freezer, and then of course we saw Scorponok in the video, in the trailer, and we got Colin DiMaggio voicing Unicron. So Unicron will hope he has a really voice. I'm not trying to hope he Mr. D'Amigo basically captures the same effect that a certain great actor voiced for Unicron, but I hope he does well. The one thing I want to talk about, it's funny that they got, of course, Peter Cullen's going to come back because he's the voice of Optimus. But I was shocked that they went with Ron Perlman. I wondered myself, I was like, Ron Perlman's great, don't get me wrong. But did they give Gary Chalk a call to say, hey, we're doing Optimus Primal's going to be in the next movie. You want to come back to voice him? You are the OG voice of Optimus Primal during Beast Wars and all that. So I wondered did they actually want him to come back, but I guess not. There's also an image in there at the final scene where we see Noah get some kind of tech suit. Once I saw that, I went back and started thinking that reminds me of Spike, when he had Spike Witwicky, the original human ally, had some kind of tech suit and fought with the Autobots. So I'm like, that's a cool nod. I was loving that. But overall, the trailer looked great. I love it. It looks fun. I can't wait to see this. I hope that the Maximals got a robot form too, because we only seen them in their animal form. I believe they do. But outside of that, it's great. It looks fun. I can't wait to see this. It just seeing the Autobots on screen is great. It's just fun. And the other thing I want people to realize is, like, stop complaining that these movies have humans in it. Stop that. Because it's, to me, anybody that says that, then you have not watched G1. Because humans played a big role in the Great War. Stop. You got to stop that. You have to stop thinking because humans play. The Autobots had human allies that worked with them. If they're not being unuseful, then I'm fine with it. Stop it. But outside of that, this was great. It's fun. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to seeing more. It does look like Bumblebee gets hurt, and I'm hoping he doesn't die. But outside of that, this is fun. I'm looking forward to it. You guys tell me what you thought about the latest trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beast. And are you a little shocked that Rat Trap is not in it like myself? I'm a little shocked at that.